So, Mark, why don't you tell us about all the crazy stuff that happened in Gang War First Strike #1?
We open on Arthur Avenue, where the Owl is angrily banging his fists on the table while the Crime Master, Mr. Negative, and others look on. Wait a second, is that Shang-Chi? Oh man, someone is going to have to explain some Marvel status quo-ology to me. You see, all of these gangsters are arguing about territory, which only means one thing: a gang war. Good thing this is a one-shot dedicated exclusively to that purpose. Hammerhead and his girlfriend join the fray, and he immediately gets called out for trying to make a move immediately after Madame Mask gets off. And yeah, Dad and I have been saying this the whole time. It seems curious from the get-go, right? I wonder if that'll get resolved anytime soon. So we move on to Janice Lincoln, and she shows up, and she immediately sits down in her father's empty chair, and the other mobsters are like, "That's not how this works. You have to take over a crime territory by paying your dues, like mopping bathroom stalls and such. You know, honest work." Anyway, Hammerhead is all, "Thanks again for letting me show up to your wedding and ruining it." And Janice is like, "Keep Randy's name out of your effing mouth." But before she could slap Hammerhead at an award show, he brings up the fact that Randy going around trying to get superheroes legal again is exactly the kind of thing they all need to be concerned with. So it's decided. Janice is going to kill Randy, and that's that. To brighten the mood, Spider-Man is having a battle with Slide before Miles Morales interjects and slashes Slide with an energy sword. And Spider-Man is like, "Hey, I didn't know you could do that." "Heck, neither did I, Dan." And Miles is like, "That's what happens when you ghost folks and or don't read their monthly books all that closely." So Miles reads Peter the Riot Act. He's a bad mentor and friend. You know, all the things Dan is going on about on social media. Spidey is trying to apologize, and Miles tells him actions speak louder, and he should join the movement to get Mayor Luke Cage to reinstate superheroes. Miles then swings off with a final mic drop, leaving Peter stunned, yet deep in thought. Over to Gracie Mansion, and Mayor Cage is talking to Randy about the big protests he's starting about the superhero repeal, while Hammerhead and his girl, "Gotta keep mentioning that girl, Dan," they drive by. We flash over to Randy in an empty stairwell when Janice shows up. Randy brushes her off, bringing up how her mobster ties ruined his precious wedding day. What a groomzilla. Before Janice slams him against the wall and asks if Randy thinks she's a murderer, like her father. Randy says no, but knows someone put her up to this, and right on cue, Janice backs down in time for a bunch of thugs with guns to show up and open fire, but not before... Okay, Dan, say the magic words!
Look out! I mean, really, look out. Like, at this point, I think this is less about me speculating about lookouts and more like, can we say watch out? Can we say cover your head? Can writers, you need something else besides look out. I'm tired of calling this out, but it's every issue now. It's either a joke from Nick Lowe, who's listening and making fun of me and making it a mandate, or we're just getting lazy. No more lookout, please. I beg you.
All right, before Dan falls apart. So, Spider-Man shows up in Mayor Cage's office, but Cage looks despondent. Spidey wants to talk superhero laws, but Cage ominously suggests, "No one told you." Before we flash over to Robbie, sitting by Tombstone's side when a nurse busts in saying, "You're okay, we thought you had been shot," before admitting they got the wrong Robertson. And that's some real Doctor from Arrested Development energy right there, folks. Robbie is off in time to intercept a very bloodied Randy on a gurney, being chased behind by Janice before Robbie tells her to get the hell away from his son. Emotions are running real high right now. That brings us over to Hammerhead and the girlfriend. And the girl doesn't like that he had the kid shot, and Hammerhead gets all domestic abusey about it before rambling on with a Dr. Evil rant, giving the girl enough time to grab a bar and start smashing his head in. Apparently, it's laced with adamantium and magic. And after a pretty bloody beating, Janice comes through the window in time for the girlfriend to reveal that she's been Madame Mask all along. Apparently, I know, right? Shocked. Pretend to be shocked face. Apparently, she went to the same hiring agency that Norman Osborn did back in the day to find a lookalike to get killed by her while playing Hammerhead's girl. And then he told her the entire plan like the idiot that he is, which, for whatever reason, Madame Mask is now doing to Janice. These damn supervillain types just can't help but spill the beans. Janice is still distraught about Randy, but Mask tells her now everyone is going to make a move on Hammerhead's territory, treaties will fail, and chaos will erupt on the streets, leading to a war. You might even call it a gang war, Dan. I know. Back at the hospital, Spider-Man shows up in the window where Robbie sits by Randy's side. Robbie tells Spidey he shouldn't be here. He should be out there fighting for what Randy was fighting for. Spidey shows some doubts he's even able to do the right thing before Robbie lectures him about Randy's cause. He got shot for what he believed in, and that's a tragedy, but it's also a story he might die for. Spidey can't let that story end in vain, so right on cue, an explosion from outside, and Spidey gets ready to swing into action. One last exchange with Janice and Madame Mask. Janice is ready to defend Harlem with her life, and Mask mocks her, saying she'll be there to pick up whatever's left before giving Shotgun a call and confirming that she hired him in the first place. Over to Luke Cage, and Spidey shows up, webs the door shut, and tells him to stay out of the way. Luke says he'll tell the cops to leave him alone, and Spicey tells no, not just him, but the team he's about to put together. And that is our issue, Dan.